Hey fourth graders, so today for Word Problem Wednesday, we are going to do some word problems together. Some of these word problems are one step. Some of them have more than one step. It could be 2 steps or 3 steps. So we're going to work on this together, okay? Let's do number 1. Did you ever stop to think about how important math is when buying school supplies? Here is an example. Dan wants to have 2 pencils for every week of school. Each week he wants to use 2 pencils. If there are 36 weeks of school, how many pencils will he need? So Dan, each week he wants to use 2 new pencils. So I'm going to do a little visual to help you guys. So week 1 of school, he's going to use 2 pencils. Week 2, he's going to use new pencils, 2 more pencils. Week 3, he's going to open new pencils, 2 more. So we're kind of seeing a pattern. Each week it's 2, 2, 2. Now if you remember from 3rd grade, when something is repeated, one way is to add them. We can add 2, 2, 2 all the way to 36 weeks. Which will take a very long time because I would have to write out everything and we're going to have to add them. But since it is repeated, something that is repeated and has the same number, we can use this operation, multiply. So we know how many weeks are there in a school. There are 36 weeks of school. Each week, Dan is going to use 2 pencils for every week. So we're going to take the total number of weeks during school and we're going to multiply, because each week, how many pencils is he going to use? 2. And we're going to multiply it by 2. Now let's solve for this. Remember 4th graders, we were doing 2 digit by 1 digit, and now you're able to apply that skill in a word problem. Let's start from the ones place. 2 times 6 is 12. Bring the 1 up here, the 2 goes down here. Now let's multiply across. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 more, 7. So how many pencils does he need for a total of 36 weeks of school? He needs 72 pencils. Okay. Let's do the next one. Dan uses 5 sheets of lined paper each day at school. He has 120 sheets of paper left over from last year. How many days will this paper last? So he's not saying how many papers I need if I'm going to use 5 sheets a day. He has a stack already. Can you guys tell me how many sheets of paper does he have right now from last year? He has 120 sheets of paper left over from last year. That's what he has right now. He is starting the year with the leftover paper, which is 120 sheets. Each day, let's say this box is a day, he is going to use 5. Now there's 2 ways to solve this. One way is we can skip count by 5, because each day he's using 5. So one day is 5, the second day is 5. We can skip count 5, 10, 15, 20, and skip count all the way to 120 and see how many days or boxes we draw. Or we can take the amount that he starts with and divide it by 5. I want to know how many days he's going to use up all this. And each day he's using how many sheets of paper? 5. Oopsies. So we're going to divide that by 5. Now let's cover up and let's start from the 1. Can 5 multiply something to give me something closer to 1? No, because 1 is too small. So we're going to move our finger over and we're going to ask ourselves now, right here, 5 times what number gives me closest to 12? 5 times what number gives me closest to 12? So we can go 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. That's pretty close. Let's try one more. 5 times 3 is 15. I want something close to 12, but not bigger than 12. And I have 15. Is that too big? Yes. So we're going to cross that off. And the next closest one is actually 5 times 2 gives me 10. So 5 times 2 gives me 10. 12 minus 10, we're going to minus here, gives me 2. And now we're ready to bring this 0 down here. Okay. 5 times what number gives me closest to 20? Well, let's look back here. We have 5 times 1 equals 5. 5 times 2 equals 10. 5 times 3 equals 15. That's still too small. One closer. Let's try one more. 5 times 4 equals 20. Look, it's perfect. So 5 times 4 equals 20. Now I'm able to subtract 20 from 20, which gives me 0. So it's going to take Dan 24 days to use up 120 sheets of paper if he uses 5 sheets per day. 24 days. All right, let's continue. This next problem has 3 steps. I'll give you a hint here. 3 steps. Okay? And we need to solve this problem with the first step before we can actually jump to the second and third steps. Or else you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay, so let's read this problem and see what we're trying to figure out. Dan bought 1 glue stick for 56 cents and 2 pencils for 12 cents each. So 1 pencil is 12 cents, but he got 2. How much change should he get back from $1? Well, let's first find out if you're going to buy 2 pencils, how much money you're going to spend. So I sometimes like to draw our problems out. So we're going to draw a glue stick. We know 1 glue stick is 56 cents. Each pencil it costs 12 cents. So pencil number 1, 12 cents. How many pencils did he actually buy? Not 1, but 2. So he bought another one, which is also 12 cents. So let's find out how much money he used for pencils. 12 plus 12. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 1 is 2. So for both the pencils, Dan spent 24 cents. Now I want to know all together, glue stick and the 2 pencils, how much did he spend? So over here, I'm going to put how much did he spend? Okay, so we have the glue stick amount, which is 56 cents. Now we're going to add the 2 pencils. 2 pencils together cost me 24 cents. Okay. Let's start adding on the ones place. 6 plus 4 equals 10. Bring the 1 over, put the 0 down here. Now we have to add all 3. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. So he spent a total of 80 cents for these 3 items. This is step 2 now. Well, he's going to give that cashier $1. I want to know how much change does he get back. So in $1, I don't know if you guys remember from 2nd grade, $1 is equal to 100 cents. So he pays 100 cents or $1 to the cashier, and they're gonna subtract 80 because he's paying for it. So this is step number 3. We're gonna take 100 cents, which is $1 he paid, and we're gonna take away the amount he's paying for those supplies. Okay? 0 minus 0 is 0. Can 0 minus 8? Nope. Borrow. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 equals 2. Don't forget the cents. So, how much money does he get back? He gets 20 cents. They gave us a dollar sign. So if we don't have any dollars, we can put 0.20. This is how you write 20 cents. Or you can write 20 cents. But since they wrote the dollar sign here, we're going to follow their format. All right, let's do one more. Okay. Dan bought 10 computer disks. Each disk cost 98 cents. How much did the computer disk cost in all? Well, usually when we see in all, we're going to add. So let's draw this out because sometimes adding 10 98 cents together can be kind of tedious. So we know he bought these computer disks, and I'm just going to use circles for these disks. And he bought 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they're each 98 cents. So this one is 98 cents. This one is 98 cents. So each of these, how many times right here do you see 98? I see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I see it 10 times. I see 98 10 times. Well, times also means multiply. So when you see this is a repeated addition. I don't want to add 98 this many times. What we can do is we're going to take 98, which is the cost of one disk, and we're going to multiply it by 10. This is the amount he bought. Double digit multiplication, so let's start here. 0 times 8 is 0. 0 times 9 is 0. Don't worry, that's okay. Now we're going to move over. And because we moved one place over, this would be 0. Now let's multiply. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 9 is 9. Remember from practicing earlier this week, what do we do with these two numbers? We're going to add them. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 8 is 8. Nothing plus 9 is 9. But it's not $980. This is in cents. And remember, 100 cents is the same thing as $1. We have 900 in here, right? If we look at it, we have no ones, we have 8 tens, and we have 900s. So we can say, or when you change cents into dollars, you can just move 2 decimal points like this. And it's $9.80.